Every now and then, we come across a love story that feels like it could have been written for the movies. A story of two people who met young, stayed true, and built a life that shines as brightly today as it did in the very beginning.
Oh, yeah. And for Bob and Janice Skeeter of Snow Hill, that story started in the most ordinary places, but quickly grew into something extraordinary. Decades later, through the highs, the lows, and all the moments in between, their bond has only deepened. So today, they opened their hearts to share how it all began, what's kept them together, and why their love continues to inspire everyone around them. For Robert Skeeter of Snow Hill, it was love at first sight.
I guess the first time I laid eyes on Janice was maybe when I saw her walking down the school hall. During recess or when classes would change, I would, for some reason or other, I'd look at this little girl walking down the hall, and she was on a float in a Halloween parade one year. I thought, oh, that's the prettiest girl I ever saw in my life.
For Janice, her first memory of Robert was a little less romantic.
He was on the back of a truck with one of his fellow mates, schoolmates, and the guy went around the corner and he rolled off. And thank goodness he rolled. And I went home and told my mom that I saw Bobby Skeeter fall off that truck. And he wasn't hurt, but they made him go to the doctor for a checkup. And anyway, that became the start of it, I guess.
It's not exactly the fairy tale beginning, but soon enough, Robert worked up the courage to ask Janice out. Their first date?
We went to Delmar to a movie. It wasn't the drive-in, it was a regular in the theater. And they had drive-in too, you know. And anyway, he bought me a box of popcorn. I don't think he's bought me any since.
Neither can recall what was on the screen that night, but the real story was happening between them. In 1950, Robert and Janice said, "I do." She was 17, he was 20. Their parents had to sign for the marriage license.
We said we just might as well get married, you know. So why wait? I like 6 weeks of being 21.
We had a nice wedding, you know. I had a long dress. My mother made my little veil that, you know, heart shape. And there wasn't a whole lot of money, but we certainly had a nice wedding.
And we had a 1949 Packard automobile. I bought it new from Parkston, Virginia. But I did have to stop in Salisbury to get my car washed.
Oh, yeah. They didn't have much, but they had love and a rented home furnished top to bottom for just $40 a month.
It had the house rented, all the furniture, so we said, let's go ahead and get married.
Not long after, Robert joined the Army and was sent overseas for 18 months. He was stationed in Germany. What was it like being without him?
Pretty bad, pretty long. We wrote every day.
Those letters kept their connection alive. And when Robert came home, they settled back into Snow Hill, where they've lived ever since.
At a real reasonable price.
Together, they've built a life.
That's a
2 sons,
$1.50
Bruce and Brant, and 4 grandchildren.
Leslie, William, Walker, and Catherine. I had everybody here Saturday night. I'm still cooking dinner whenever, so that's we do keep in touch anyway, and they do with us. So.
Alongside family, Bob and Janice built long careers. Janice working 40 years at the bank, Robert running his poultry supply business for 3 decades.
It was work all day on the road, and at nighttime go to the warehouse and put stuff together that I needed for the next day's delivery. So it was more or less up to her, you might say, to raise the 2 boys that we had. So I know it had to be pretty rough on her, but
well,
that's the way it was. That's the way it worked out.
Even now, their days are filled with activity. Robert walks twice a day, rides his bike, and still hops on his scooter. Janice stays busy cooking, baking, and keeping the home they've shared for over 70 years.
So I rented an apartment until he got out of the service. And then we didn't stay there long before that same year we started this house. Yeah, 1954, yeah.
So what's the secret to marriage that lasts 3/4 of a century?
Well, love is number one.
Give and take. She just gives it and I take it, I guess.
Just don't move too fast and go in debt too much. Just have a lot of trust.
From high school sweethearts to lifelong partners, Robert and Janice Skeeter's story is proof that true love doesn't just endure, it grows stronger with time.
Wouldn't do it any different.
You'd marry him all over again?
I think so. Yeah.
75 years, countless memories, and one timeless love. For Robert and Janice Skeeter, the best part has been sharing the journey together. And although Bob and Janice have managed to keep their love alive for 75 years, they have experienced some heartache over the years. Most recently, they lost one of their sons to heart disease. But their faith in God has carried them through the tough times. In fact, they are still active members of the church. They were married in 3/4 of a century ago. And as you can see, they have a great sense of humor, especially
Amazing.
Bob.
And they look fantastic,
They
don't they?
do. In fact, I want to say happy birthday to Bob. He turned 96 yesterday.
96. Wow. We should all be so lucky. And what a love story.
It is. It is.
Truly amazing.